Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of the chapter when the twins went to war. In the first part, we read that the Beldis think that Zaxulis have stolen a weasel from them just to dishonor them, and now they want to go on a war. Now let's read ahead. Beldi chief's wife, you are men. Must a man be stupid? So here she angrily questions the men. Just because they are men, must they always choose war and violence? She's saying just because you are men doesn't mean you should act foolishly. She's trying to say use your brain and not just your strength. Narrator 1. She went with the other Beldi women to talk with the twins. So now the women take charge. They go to speak to the twins, hoping to convince them to stop this war. Beldi chief's wife, Udoga Chubak, tell the men to stay home. We have had enough fighting and killing. So now they want the men to stay at home. They are tired of war and loss. Beldi women speaking all at once. That's right. We have had enough. Tell them to stay home. So all the women are tired of war and loss and they want the men to stay at home. Chubak, Tudoga, she's right, brother. There has been enough war. And Chubak also agrees to it. Udoga, we'll see what we can do. Udoga is not fully convinced yet. Narrator 2. Not long after, the men also came to the twins. Beldi chief, Chubak, Udoga, give us your advice. So here we see that the message of peace has started spreading. Even the warriors now go to the twins to talk about what's next. The chief turns to the twins, seeking their wisdom. This shows that the community respects their words. Chubak, picking up a warrior's bow. Never has a clan been so insulted. If the chief had taken a sable, we could forgive him. So actually, he's talking like the tribe people. He's saying that our clan has been insulted. If the thief had taken a sable, we could forgive him. So skin of a sable has value, but a weasel skin is almost worthless. So he's saying never has a clan been so insulted. It must have been taken just to shame us. The skin of a sable has value, but a weasel skin is almost worthless. It must have been taken just to shame us. If we are shamed, we have no honor. If we have no honor, we are dead. The Zaxulis have killed us. So he says if the thief had stolen a valuable animal like a sable is a furry animal known for its expensive fur, they might have forgiven. A weasel skin doesn't have much worth, unlike sable fur, so why steal it? Next page. Beldy Menon Chief excitedly, that's right, that's right. Udoga picking up a spear, we must go back and defeat the Zaxulis. But wait. Now, children, you might be thinking why Udoga and Chubak are helping people to fight. But actually, it is their plan. They want Beldis to learn a lesson. And that is why they are doing all this. You'll come to know later. So we must take a vow not to eat any food from their land or drink a single drop of their water. This is important. So here you will come to know that this is all their plan. Udoga says we must take a vow. What is vow? Vow is a serious promise to avoid even the food and water of their enemies. Okay. Beldi women and chief together. We swear it, defeat the Zaxulis. Zaxulis, here we come. So they are saying we swear it. Yes, they are shouting the vow loudly. They are united, they are brave, and ready to face their enemies without fear. Okay? Narrator 1. The women were sad. Beldi chief's wife, what hope do we have when even the twins go to war? Now, the simple line tells us how deeply the war is affecting everyone, especially the women. They are worried about losing their loved ones. The chief's heart, the chief's wife is heartbroken. She wonders if even the gentle and wise twins are fighting, what future is left for peace? Now let's read cross curricular corner. Throughout history, people have tried to stop wars in different ways. One peaceful method was sport. Long ago, the Olympic Games were started so that tribes could compete in sports instead of fighting real wars. Isn't that a smart idea? Okay, let's read ahead. Narrator 2. They set about preparing the men's food. The women got busy preparing meals for the men who were going to fight. Everyone was taking this war very seriously. Narrator 1. The next morning, the men loaded themselves with as much food and water as they could carry. So, early morning, the men packed up, carrying lots of food and water for the journey. Loaded means they took heavy things with them, especially food and water. Narrator 2. Then, taking the twins with them, they started off toward the Zaksuli village. They walked all day. It was slow, hard going, with all they had to carry. The farther they went, the angrier they were at the Zaksulis. Obviously, they would be. The journey was long and tough. They were carrying so many supplies that walking had become difficult. Hard going means it was a struggle. Narrator 1. So, the farther they went, their anger grew stronger. They were blaming the Zaksulis without even understanding the truth. Beldi men in chief together loudly. Just wait till we meet the Zaksulis in battle. They will never dare to take on the Beldis again. So they were ready to fight. Narrator 2. They came upon some Zaksuli women gathering berries. So now there were some women, as you can see in the picture, Zaksuli women, who were gathering berries. Chubak angrily. Here, O women, we are coming to your village. We will defeat you all. Generations will remember the fight between the Beldis and the Zaksulis. So, do you think if Chubak was seriously preparing for a war, he would announce that they are coming? No, he would never do that. But he did that on purpose. Zaksuli women to each other, oh no, the Beldis, it's the Beldis. Narrator 2. The women ran off to warn their men. See, no one wanted war. They simply wanted to protect their families. Next page. Beldi chief in dismay to Chubak. Why did you let them know? With all that we are carrying, those women will reach the village long before we do. The men will hide in the lodges deep inside their village and we'll have to wait them out. So now the chief is upset. He knew this would give the Zaksulis time to hide and prepare. Udoga to all the men. What is that to us? Nothing they do can save them. Death to the Zaksulis. Wealthy men except the chief. Death to the Zaksulis, death to the Zaksulis. Narrator 1. The Beldis reached the village, but the Zaksuli men were already hiding inside. Okay, that's right. The Zaksulis didn't come out. They were not interested in fighting. They were peaceful. They were not like the Beldis. They did not want to fight. They wanted to stay put till the warmongering Beldis went home. Means they wanted to wait it out until these Beldis went home. And this adjective, warmongering Beldis, means wanting to start a war or encouraging people to start a war. So Beldis were warmongering. They just wanted to fight even without any reason. So now the Beldis hid all around the village in the tall grass and the bushes. So now the Beldis were hiding, waiting to attack, but things didn't go the way they expected. Page number 43. Narrator 2. They knew that sooner or later the Zaksuri men would have to come out. They would need to hunt and fish, then they would have to face the Beldis. So Beldis thought if we wait long enough, they'll have to come out to hunt or fish. Narrator 1. The next morning, the Zaksuli men did not come out, but the women came out. They carried big sticks. What a twist! Brave Zaksuli women came out with sticks in hand to protect their homes. Zaksuli chief's wife, you foolish Beldis! Why don't you go back to your village where you belong? Narrator 2. The women found the Beldis hiding in the grass and the bushes. They began beating them with their sticks. Zaksuli women and chief's wife, take that, you silly men, go home. So now the strong warriors were being beaten by the village women. Beldi men and chief, ow, ow, ow. Funny, isn't it? These strong men were crying out in pain. Udoga to the men, be brave, remember, you must never hit a woman. Even during this, they remembered their values. That was honorable. Belly chief, but what if the woman hurts us? Oh, Chubak, how does that matter? We are men. How could a woman hurt us? So indirectly, he is pointing out the male ego that, oh, you are man. How could a woman hurt you? Narrator 1. Soon all the Beldy Soon all the Beldy men were getting a sound beating from the Zaksuli women. So every day the Zaksuli women came and pet them again. Beldy men in chief, ow, ow, ow. Now they are crying out in pain. Narrator 1. Day after day, the Beldis waited for the Zaksuli men. Narrator 2. Every day the women came out and bet them. Beldy men in chief taking another beating. And they were shouting, ow, ow. Narrator 1. The Beldy men were brave. Narrator 2. Then their food ran out. Chubak, remember your vow. We will take no food from this evil land. Remember their vow? Beldy chief. But how can we fight without food? Chubak, don't worry. It won't be long now. Beldy men in chief as they are beaten by the women again. Ow, ow. Narrator 1. So they were brave a little longer. Narrator 2. Then their water ran out. Udoga, remember your vow? Not a drop of water from this place of evil. So they had taken a vow, but now they were paying the price for their stubbornness. Now their food and water ran out. What's the point of being brave if you're starving? So let's see what happened next. Beldy chief, but we can't last long without water. Udoga, we won't have to. We have almost won. Narrator 2, but their patience ran out. Finally, the chief admitted it. No food, no water. They were growing weak. The bold warriors were now tired, thirsty, and hopeless. Beldy chief, what kind of war is this? We are so weak from hunger and thirst that we can barely hold our spears. Chubak, we are men. Again, pointing out at the male ego. When honor is at stake, how can we complain of hardship? At stake means at risk. He was still trying to hold on to pride. Narrator 1. But they could not hold out anymore. They were ready to give up. Narrator 2. At last, the Zaksuli chief appeared to speak with the Beldi chief. Finally, the Zaksuli chief came to speak, a chance for peace. Zaksuli chief. Are you now ready to talk and settle this matter without fighting? He offered peace. But Udoga still wanted something in return. How can talk bring back honor? We will be satisfied only by a great gift. Chubak, yes, a gift such as never given before. Zaksuli chief trembling. Now he's nervous. Nervously he's asking, what do you want? And here comes the most unexpected reply. Udoga, you must give us the skin of the weasel. Can you believe it? They went to war for that, and now they wanted the same thing to bring peace. Both the chiefs stared at the twins in astonishment. Astonishment means surprise. Then the Zaksuli chief ran back to tell the good news. Narrator 1. The Beldi chief's face grew red. Why? Because he was embarrassed. The truth finally hit him. It was all meaningless. Beldi chief. Is that worthy a gift? Is that why we starved and suffered? For nothing but the skin of a weasel? Chubak innocently. The weasel skin sent us to war. Why shouldn't it send us home? The Beldi chief could not disagree with this reasoning. Back in their village, the Beldi chief spoke with his wife. So this shows how silly the reason for the fight was, but it also brought them to peace. At last, Beldi chief accepted the truth. Belly Chief said, what a war that was! The most terrible war of all. We never want to go to war again. Narrator 1. That was indeed the last war between the Beldis and the Zaksulis. Thanks to the twins' clever move, the Beldis learned that fighting was of no use to anyone and war only brought suffering. They made peace with the Zaxulis. The sworn enemies turned into peaceful neighbors. Sworn enemies means people or countries that have a strong dislike for each other, and they became peaceful neighbors. So it was pointless. They realized that war only brings pain and not victory. From sworn enemies, which means people who hate each other, they became peaceful neighbors. So, children, what do we learn from this story? Never fight over silly reasons. Talk things out, solve problems calmly, and respect others. The twins may have started the misunderstanding, but peace and wisdom ended it. See you in the next video where I will be discussing question answers. Thank you. Bye bye.